In this tutorial I'm going to be covering alpha channels again. In this one we're going to be making an object have its base texture but adjust the alpha channel so over time it fades out into nothing or transparent. So yeah, what I went and did was I made just a normal cube, and then I went down to transparent, cutout, diffuse. That way we can adjust the alpha layer until it's completely gone. And I can show you really quick what I did with this. I went in here into Photoshop and I created just a base texture, so this will be the texture that you're going to be throwing onto your object that you want. I just did simple green because it's just a tutorial and I don't know if I'm going to be using this yet in my game. But yeah. So after you get your texture all done, you want to go into channels and you want to click this button down here to create a new alpha channel, because this one won't be there. So you just click here and it'll create a new one that'll show up like that. So in here you just want the black and white values, which are which will be adjusted. So since it fades like into black, that's how it will it'll fade out when we're working with it. So whatever pattern you want, you could have like a circular pattern or anything that fades from like black to white or white to black or however you want to do it. It just needs to fade to those colors. So if you wanted to do like a swiping motion, you would just make it fade with like a gradient or something, but I just wanted everything to dissolve all at once, kind of, in different spots. So that's what I did for my texture. And yeah, you can just go File, Save As, save it as a Targa 32-bit, and you should be good to go. So once you import it, you just throw it on to here, and then we will need a script to adjust the alpha cutoff of this shader. So pretty much in this tutorial we'll be learning how to access this component of this shader and get it to work. So we can open this up, go to our fade object. So I just created a simple variable for alpha. This will be handling our alpha channel, and I set it to 0 because I want the texture to be shown. If you set it to 1 and did the opposite for this, you can make an object fade in, or if you wanted to vice versa, whatever you want to do. And then at the start I said change alpha. Now you don't have to put this in your start, you could put it in your update and make it only occur when something happens. Maybe the player died and you want them to fade out like in this way. You could put this code into there, so if their health is less than or equal than 0, then play the like death animation, and you could do the change alpha. You see that in a couple of games where they fade out in this way when enemies die and stuff like that. So then yeah, I created a function for change alpha, and this is the code that's going to be adjusting the alpha channel for that shader, for that material. So I did a yield wait for seconds, 5. That's just for me in general for when I start up the game. I don't want it to start fading right away. I want it to wait a little bit before it starts fading. And then I created a simple for loop. So this will pretty much go on forever, but once it hits the minimum, yeah, it's kind of pointless. So I guess there's a way you could adjust that. Maybe after it goes through a certain amount of times, however many times it takes to equal to 1, you can completely cut off the for loop. So yeah, so you could do I is less than and whatever. You can just calculate it with calculator or however you want to set it up. You don't even have to set it up this way. You could do like 0.1, or so that would take 10 times, so it'd probably be, yeah, less than 10 or 11, something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much that code. So each time it goes through this for loop, it'll be adjusting our alpha channel. But since it would go like every time it's updating, it would go way too fast, so I had to throw in a yield wait for seconds. So it pauses for a second before, or half a second, maybe, yeah, less than that, before it changes the alpha. And then I did render.material set float, and then cutoff is just, yeah, cutoff is this, even though it's called alpha cutoff, we're just calling it through cutoff. And then alpha. So this goes between 0 and 1, and we just created something that we can adjust over time, and that's pretty much all you need to set up that. So you can just go in and throw that script on the box, and we can go see how it looks real quick. So you see after 5 seconds it fades to nothing. And so it's a really cool way. Maybe I might use this for my minions. You kill a minion and it plays a death animation, and then maybe it fades out using that shader effect. So yeah, hopefully I can cover some other shader programming tutorials and some other stuff we haven't covered yet, but that's a basic way to adjust settings. I'm pretty sure for all the other shaders there's a option for changing different things depending on what you're using. But yeah, that's just the basics for this tutorial for now.